Welcome to rural Crossroads of Butler County. In this episode, we explore the story of Potwin. Located in the northwest corner of the county, early settlers to this region settled in a township known as Plum Grove.
The town was platted in 1885 on land owned by Charles Potwin. The father of the town is considered to be William Joseph, land agent for Charles Potwin. Mr. Joseph had resided in Plum Grove Township since the early 1870s and is considered to have been highly instrumental in bringing the Missouri Pacific Railroad to the area. As land agent, he sold lots to individuals and businesses around Potwin Station, in turn creating the town.
So join us as we explore the rural crossroads of Potwin. Early settlers to this area of the county homesteaded in the Plum Grove Township as early as 1857. Several small communities emerged over the next 20 years.
Two communities that established a post office for a time were Air and Plum Grove. Both of these communities failed, and by the late 1880s had dissolved or became part of Potwin.
One of the more interesting individuals to settle near Potwin was famous Western artist Frederick Remington. Remington hailed originally from New York, but he was related to several well-known people, including the makers of Remington firearms, the mountain man Jedediah Smith, and others. What made Remington unique was that after time spent training at Yale and other places as an artist, he made his way west and saw firsthand the expanse and images that he would make famous in his paintings. In 1883, he bought a ranch between Potwin and Whitewater. Remington, who raised sheep among other livestock, found ranching in Butler County much harder than he thought, and in a short time he moved on to other western locations. He also went on to much greater fame, including a close friendship with future President Theodore Roosevelt.
Another noted Potwin citizen is Mrs. May Joseph, who founded and hosted the first Old People's Day celebration in 1911 at the Methodist Church. This special event was established to honor her parents and the older generation, a way to express gratitude and appreciation. The first event, a basket dinner, had 48 guests over 60 years of age. The event evolved over the years to include current and past residents of Potwin and the surrounding community. The age limit was also raised to over 65. Over the decades, the event has drawn hundreds, some traveling from far away as California in order to attend. The biblical statement of honor thy father and mother has been used as the key phrase since the event's inception. May Joseph, born in 1880, was a school teacher and in her later years took care of and fed more than 50 head of cattle. She died at the age of 80. The oil boom in Butler County brought attention from many investors and businessmen. Jack Vickers was one of those individuals. In 1918, Vickers came to the Sedgwick County, Butler County area and decided to build a refining plant at Potwin, Kansas. At the same time, he bought properties in Wichita, establishing a home in College Hill. He also began building a much larger estate on East Central that he called Vickridge. While Vickers owned properties in several places, the heart of his operation took place in Butler County at Potwin. He founded the well-known Vickers Petroleum Company with fellow entrepreneur and oilman Deering Marshall, establishing the Vickers Marshall Refinery in 1918. When first built, it was equipped to process 2,000 barrels a day. The refinery ceased operations January 1st of 1964, and the petrochemical operation ended in 1968. At its peak production, the refinery produced 16,500 barrels a day. Today, the location of Cape and Mount Carmel was once the location of Vickers' estate. And Hayesville is the last remaining Vickers Petroleum gas station.
Elwood King and the King family were residents of Potwin for many years. Elwood compiled his recollections, which you can read at the Butler County Historical Society. He shares stories that truly tell the story of Potwin through time. From his recollections, we learned that Potwin also fought off the Ku Klux Klan in the 1920s, and that while they never gained a true foothold, it was a reason for concern. Mr. King also tells of the busy period of the town in the 1920s when Potwin sported an implement company, an automobile dealership, a lumber yard, and much more. We should also state that in his later years, Elwood was an important contributor to the work we're doing here at the Butler County Historical Society and Kansas Oil Museum. He conducted countless interviews on camera that I've had the good fortune of watching, and they're now preserved and can be viewed here at our museum in El Dorado.
Sometimes the question is asked, how did you get along with the oil people? Well, I'd say we got along with them fine. And most of them were real fine people, and just like the general population. And they added something, especially in our case, where I grew up in you might say, a refinery town, went to school with refinery employees and oil field workers.
The Cold War nuclear arms race is often a hidden piece of history for Butler County. Kansas was the location for 18 Titan II missile sites. 8 of those were in Butler County. The sites in south central Kansas were under the supervision of the 381st Strategic Missile Wing, based in McConnell Air Force Base. The missiles were part of the U.S. Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Deterrent System. A missile site was located near Potwin on land owned by the King family. While some sites were deactivated after the SALT Treaty, the Potwin location was in operation from 1962 to 1985. Titan II missile sites were limited to 1 missile per site, and each site was at least 7 miles from the next one. The Titan II was the largest ICBM ever deployed by the U.S. Air Force. It stood 103 feet tall and weighed 330,000 pounds. Its range was up to 9,300 miles away and could be launched within a minute. The Titan II missile was incredibly powerful, said to have 3 times the explosive power of all bombs used during World War II, including both atomic bombs.
Potwin is a farming community that has been able to sustain its life and its population for over 135 years.
Please join us again in 2 weeks as we explore the rural crossroads of Benton.